My neighbor just sold me his car for $100, but only on the condition that I make it run. Now this car I think is a great deal because first of all, look at that interior. It's pretty much immaculate. The paint's in pretty good shape, a few scratches here and there. I mean, look how much trunk space is in this car. It's just insane to me. It's got brand new tires. I mean, the car is just perfect. So the car doesn't run, and my neighbor who owned this car, original owner, was gonna send it off to the junkyard, but he always sees that we have got a million shitty cars, project cars in our driveway. So he came over and said, hey, do you wanna buy the car? And I said, well, what am I gonna do with an old Mercedes? So I said, I'll give you $100 for it. And he said, no way, you're crazy. Then he came back and said, you know what? The junkyard will give me a couple $100 for it. I'll give it to you for 100, but only if you get it running in the next 30 days. And if I don't get it running, I gotta send it off to the junkyard and give them whatever they give me. So I said, fuck yeah, challenge accepted, we could do it. I know absolutely zilch about Mercedes, but that's what Google and YouTube's for. So we're gonna figure out what's going on with the car. Luckily, it's a super well-documented car. Original owner has all the service, everything, all in here. So we just gotta figure out why the car doesn't run. How do we get it running again? How do we make it move? I mean, most of this car is nice. It has been sitting for about 2 years. Luckily, that's not too long for the motor to just, you know, be junk. So first things first, let's get the car running. Let's figure out what's wrong with it. Get it back out on the road. Okay, we got 30 days starting now to fix this car. Let's pop that hood and do an inspection. Okay, first things first, pop the hood. And to do that, it took me a little second to figure it out. There's a little latch, you know, under the dash. And then on top of that, there's this little thing right here. So you gotta pull this thing, and then that's how you open it up. And this car is so cool. I mean, look at this. It's got a windshield wiper for the headlight. Like, this car is just so weird and foreign to me. Okay, we got the motor. Now, I don't really know what I'm looking at here, but, you know, see, we got the air cleaner system, we got the spark plugs, we got the exhaust. So now we gotta figure out, you know what, I'm actually gonna check the oil first. So, pretty sure this is the dipstick, that's the transmission fluid. So let's check the oil, see if it's clean or, you know, if it's even good enough to start. You don't want to crank the engine if there's no oil in it. So let's check to see what we got. Oil is clean, that's good. Let's see if it's full. Full, yeah. The guy took really good care of this car, so, you know, we're probably not dealing with a whole lot of problems.
How's it look?
It looks full. That's a weird looking dipstick right there. Look at that.
Yeah,
it's got two little red things on the side.
Rubber inside the hot oil doesn't seem like a good idea.
I know.
Gotta love the Germans.
Yep. Oil looks clean. We should check the transmission fluid, but you gotta get the engine running for that. So let's figure out how to get the engine to run. The owner said that the battery was charged and that it'll crank right now, but it won't fire. So let's go crank it now that we know it's got oil. And you know, it's not gonna work, but we'll see what's going on. Okay, it's time to crank the car. But while we're in here, look how nice the interior is. There's some moments where, you know, you see some cracks and it's not perfect, but for 200,000 miles, it's not that bad. Original owner stuff. Here's the fun part, is that this little key does this.
Do we know why?
I have no idea why. Okay, so it's in park.
It's in park.
Then watch.
It just will not bite. I mean,
I don't want to kill the battery because this battery is a little old, but wonder if the sunroof works. So anyways, now that is, here, let's make sure it's off. Let's go back to the engine bay. So first thing I could think of is to look at the ignition system. Now, after looking on my phone, I think this thing right here is the distributor. But the only thing that's weird is that there's 4 wires on that and there's 6 cylinders. So the other component I think is right here and it's conveniently zip tied on. So this may lead us to some Mickey Mouse issues, which may lead us to a problem. So there we go.
So those are definitely the wires coming off of each spark plug, basically. So they go straight.
So I don't know what this piece is, but when I looked up ignition, that little box popped up, and there's only 4.
So this looks way more like a distributor, like a gen.
This looks like a distributor.
Yeah. So well, it could be ignition, and also could be fuel. We don't know.
Could be fuel, it could be ignition.
I think we should try crank it and see if we get some volts coming out of here.
Yeah.
That'd be the next test.
Another thing we could do, just to rule out ignition, is we could go get a, we have a spark plug tester and we could put that in line to see if it sparks.
That's a good idea.
And that'll give us an idea of if the ignition is working. But it's got fresh gas in it, don't worry. I have learned my lesson enough times, so we had put gas in it.
You gotta be really careful because like they have Bosch fuel pumps, and in the tank they can erode really quickly over time, especially because the gas gets super old. So hopefully it's none of those. I think, did he drain the gas? Do you know?
I have no idea, but it's only been sitting for 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years is not that bad.
It should be something simple. Look at that.
That thing looks like a torture device.
So before we do this little test, Lenny wants to check the fuel pump real quick because the old Mercedes that he had a faulty fuel pump. So he's gonna just get under there real quick and take a look. I doubt it, you know, but who knows, maybe. So he's checking the fuel pump right now and making sure if it looks good. What's the dealio, Lenny?
So a lot of the components down there actually look pretty fresh, pretty good condition. The fuel pump itself, I did find it. Wires are on there tight. The fuel pump is a Bosch and it looks pretty clean, pretty nice. Although I didn't hook up 12 volts to it and make sure it worked. It looks pretty good, and we're gonna, you know, obviously we'll put the key on, I'll stay down here and I'll make sure I hear that little sound, the little whine.
Yeah, look at this. Like I said, this car has been maintained so well. I don't know if you can see from the camera, but the shocks are like brand new.
There's no rust on the exhaust.
There's no rust. Everything's, you know, looking pretty good. So we just got to figure out what it is. You know, I'm gonna say it's probably something electrical. Hopefully, I hope the motor's not blown. I doubt it though. Like I said, it wasn't. It just doesn't start. So
hopefully it's something kind of stupid and simple.
It's probably could be, or it could be something incredibly expensive, and this will be going off to the junkyard.
All the connecting rods have actually snapped. That's why it doesn't run.
Yeah. It cranks. You can tell it's got compression. It's either fuel or spark, and Lenny thinks it might be fuel. I think it might be spark. So we'll settle it right now with our little component right here. Here's another thing we're gonna have to fix right here. Not too bad, but it's missing component.
All right, so first things first, Noah's gonna turn on the ignition, and I'm gonna go down here to make sure I hear the fuel pump prime itself, which, I mean, it really should. All right, go ahead. Yep. All right, oops. Yep, yeah, no, I heard the fuel pump, so I guess the next thing is, let's try to crank this.
Okay, Lenny's gonna now show you guys how to use a spark tester
Okay.
to, you know, figure out what's going on.
So we already removed this wire going to this
and
spark
we made
plug.
sure all these connections are tight too. So
Well, obviously.
it's definitely not this. I don't know for a fact.
It could be the distributor itself. We don't know.
Yeah. But we made sure there's connections, just because it's sometimes stupid shit you don't want to overlook.
You can't use this, Noah.
You can't?
No, it doesn't work.
Okay, so unfortunately, our spark tester doesn't fit in it. So Lenny's gonna have to hold it, and I'm gonna go crank it, and he's gonna tell me if he sees a spark come out of it, and that'll let us know what's
Basically,
going on.
I'm gonna arc it to this two here. I can connect it here, okay, and I'm gonna watch to see if it arcs.
Yeah.
Essentially, possibly blowing myself up in the process.
So if it arcs, then you know, we know what's going on.
Do not try this. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll let you know. Go ahead, crank it.
oh, I hate that noise. Watch Lenny just blow up right there, just fly back, get electrocuted.
Stop. It's not arcing at all whatsoever.
It's not?
No. I mean, I made sure to touch, we're really close to the metal. It should have arced by now.
It's not arcing. Okay, well, we just figured something out. Somewhere along the ignition, it's not working. So, not that that necessarily says the fuel system works perfectly fine, but it leads me to believe that maybe it works.
Well, I think we just
and
get this to work first.
yeah, now we gotta get this to work. So, I don't know. Okay, let's trace these wires. So, these wires go to each cylinder, obviously.
Just like a normal distributor.
Just like a normal distributor. The middle one goes along this wire, which goes under here. So let's remove this so that we could, you know, get our hands down there.
Right, well, compared to what I'm used to, there's just usually one little wing nut, but this thing is a massive contraption. I mean, it's like a fucking crazy looking thing. Okay, so I took all those off. Okay. Oh man, look at that.
Actually, pretty clean.
Pretty clean. So much plastic.
I wish this was like an LS. Honestly, we should LS swap this car.
I don't know if it'll fit.
I don't know if it'll fit, but...
Okay, wow, there are so many more bolts to get at. Wow. Okay, we'll check back with you. There we go. Jesus Christ. So that's the throttle body.
Oh,
what is that?
What the fuck, dude?
So this is where you drop the 10 mil in, right?
Yeah, put the 10 mil in there if you want to...
That'll make it work.
Is that the oil filter right there?
And that, oh my gosh! What? Yeah, that's the oil filter. Well, it looks pretty new. That's good. Should we change that? Probably. Are we going to? No. Okay, so this, you know, we traced that ignition wire, and this is the wire right here. And so let's pull this cover off. So there's a really good chance that this is a bad unit, or one of these wires is cut somewhere, or I don't know, but we're not getting spark, and this is what feeds into the coil. So I have a good feeling that it's probably this.
Maybe the coil is bad?
Yeah, it could be. I think the next test will be to throw a multimeter on here. I don't know. We got my handy dandy multimeter right here. So now I was gonna go in and crank the car, and essentially I'm just gonna make sure this thing is getting 12 volts out. If this is pushing 12 volts out, then we know it's the wires. If it's not, then it's the module itself. Or
chances are it's probably not gonna work, which means that that stupid ass piece has to be replaced. Now this piece right here is about $100. If
this thing right here,
if it's not that, it's that piece right there.
This is the ignition control module, $890.
Yeah. To put $800 into a car that's $100 is just crazy. So we might have to junk it if that's the case.
That would really suck.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna ground this puppy right here, and we should be good to go. So we got the red on there. I'll ground it right here. Okay, go ahead. Turn the ignition on. Boom. 12 volts right there. So you don't even need to crank it. Yeah, we're good. This thing works. So that's great. Great news.
This leads me to believe that this wire is fucked up, which is actually, you know, maybe reasonable because it is kind of cracked. I doubt it's something that stupid. Good news is we do have an extra pair of wires, a nice set of brand used wires that the guy threw in. He had a few extra parts that he gave us, so not that those are gonna work, but we could replace it with the other used wire. I mean, it's not cracked like this one, so maybe it'll work.
So my guess is, because this is the, you know, one wire basically transfers the power from the coil to the distributor, we replace just this one and see if we get away with it starting.
Yeah, I doubt it, but might as well. You just gotta go through the process of elimination. If that wire is bad, some of these other ones are probably bad. So I will be ordering a new set of spark plug wires. Even if the other one works, I'll be ordering some new ones soon, because just a good thing to, you know, have nice ones. So Lenny just replaced the wire. So this is the brand used one right here. As you can see, it's kind of shitty as well. So hopefully it works. It's kind of damp too. I don't know why. It's kind of gross.
So the wire's back connected. Let me put this cover back on, and then we could put the intake back on and try crank it again.
Yeah.
Super exciting stuff. I mean, shit.
Pieces on.
Crank the car, dude. Fingers crossed. Could we be this lucky?
Doubt it. Okay. Gotta wait for that. Annoying noise. No fucking way, dude. Hold on. So, what's the noise? I know. I'm ready for the motor to just blow up at any minute.
Dude, I can't believe it's running right now.
I know.
So put it in drive, and we'll do it. Yeah, let's take it out for a spin. Oh, hold on. All right, you're good. Yeah, you're clear. You're clear. Oh shit, Noah. Dude, you're leaking a ton of fluid. You're leaking a lot of fluid. It's red. It's probably transmission.
Yeah, the transmission's not working right now.
It's not working?
Watch.
Are you in drive?
I'm in drive. Let me try a lower gear. Does it have a blown tranny?
Try all the gears, dude.
Dude.
Try all the gears.
I am. Hold on.
Fuck. You're gonna have to push me.
Yeah.
Try reverse. Seriously? Seriously?
It works in reverse. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's it?
We got a car that only drives in reverse.
Well, you just dumped a whole puddle of trans fluid.
I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, I don't know what that means.
It means your transmission's partially blown.
Okay, well, we got the car running. That was the deal. Unfortunately, it only works in reverse. The transmission, I have no clue where to start. So I'm gonna have to go Google it and try to figure out what's going on. We've got like a half-blown tranny. Why it only like goes in reverse, I have no fucking idea. And I'm sure it's not gonna be as simple as getting the engine running was. There's a thing called an AMG hammer, which looks like this. And it's basically the same body style as this. Of course, that has a V8. This has a little inline six. Although, we could put a V8 in it.
We got a 2-bolt 350 sitting in there.
No. If we're going to put a V8 in, it's going to be an LS, and it's going to make some power. We could do turbo LS. You know, the options are endless. And I looked up, they sell body kits to basically convert this car into an AMG Hammer for very, very cheap. So we could do a full build. Cool wheels, lower the car, get some coilovers, new bumpers, all the wide body kit, all that stuff. You could wrap the car. There's so much you could do to make this car cool. And for $100, I mean, starting off, you know, we're in this car for really cheap. There's little things that we could do to fix it up to make it look nicer, but overall, like,
all the buttons are there.
I love like this vintage. What is this button right here? Is this an ejecto seat? Why is there a little guy? No, look, there's a little guy right there. There's a little stick guy.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I don't know what that is.
No CDs. Hey, where's the Apple CarPlay, dude? Where's the Bluetooth?
Yeah, where's the backup camera, dude?
Jeez, come on. I can't drive a car without that.
Most of the buttons and everything works. Wait, does the horn work?
No.
Wait, hold on. I hate that noise so much.
Oh, it does.
That's weird. Why
does the ignition
key have to be on? Yeah, most cars aren't like that.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Dude, look at this stuff up here.
Right here, if you look at this thing right here. The oil gauge is an oil level gauge, not like oil pressure. So it tells you if your oil level is good.
What does 1, 2, 3, 4 mean?
Yeah. Here, let's test and see if the sunroof works. I might be fucking myself big time by doing this.
Yeah, dude, if that thing opens and doesn't close,
then I'll be fucked. I haven't had a sunroof in so long, dude.
Oh, it works.
This is cool.
This is a little wonk. Oh.
Nice. Very nice.
We're just gonna shove that up there.
So I like this car. It's very special, very cool.
Very cheap.
Very cheap. Well, the prices will add up fast over time. I mean, you comment down below what you think we should do with this car, but I think we should do something cool with it. I don't think we should take it off to the junkyard. Yeah, a lot of people put turbos on these motors, but you know, if we're gonna spend a bunch of money, I think I'd rather go with a V8.
But I guess we're gonna have to get this transmission to work. Hopefully we don't have to drop it. That would really suck.
I think we're gonna have to drop it. It's probably gonna need to get rebuilt or something.
Yeah, I hope not. But anyways, let us know down in the comments kind of what you think we could turn this car into. I mean, the sky's the limit on ideas. Stay tuned. No, what are you doing?
Well, figure out what's wrong with the car. There's no gas in it.
That's not gas.
Not close enough.
What the heck?
Okay, let's start it up. On episode 2 of fixing my $100 Mercedes, we got to figure out what's wrong with the transmission. It doesn't want to go forward, but it goes reverse. So we're going to reverse it into the garage. Luckily, we got the Chevelle out. Unfortunately, the Chevelle's giving us problems again, but we'll fix that. So we're gonna get the Mercedes into the garage, use my little hydraulic jacks, get it up in the air, drop the transmission, inspect it, figure out what's wrong with it, maybe have to fix some parts in the transmission, re-put it back in, and get the car on the road.
All right, it was a pretty painless process.
We got it in the garage, which is crazy. I've had some really cool cars in this garage before. Never such a granny car. And I know so many people love this car. It's crazy to me. I mean, look at all the cars we have, and people love this car. I mean, this is a huge hit. You guys really love it. So if you guys really love it, I'll make more content about it. It's starting to slowly grow on me. I think the AMG Hammer kit will really make it cool. Just wanted to share this with you. The paint is all faded right here, so we're gonna have to wrap the car. Besides, I don't really like this color. I love the interior color. I love the tan interior color, but this beige, I mean, this is just granny color.
Yeah,
so,
can you guys guess what color we're thinking? Put it down in the comments.
So we have these hydraulic jacks, which are pretty cool. They're heavy as fuck, and they're kind of a pain in the ass to use, but once we get the car lifted, it'll lift it up about I think like 2 feet, which is more than enough for us to pull out the transmission.
This will make it a lot safer and a lot easier to drop a transmission than if we did it on the driveway. So let's do this. So here we go.
Guys, the monster Mercedes is done. Just kidding. So far it's up in the air. We have it locked. Lenny's disconnecting the lines. We're gonna put some ramps and extra jack stands, just an extra step. But yeah, look how much room we have to pull the transmission. So much better.
First, we gotta drain the transmission fluid. How are we doing down here?
Not too bad.
Here we go. Nice and red.
Okay, right now we are going to slowly bring the bottom of the transmission back so that we could inspect the B2 piston area because there's not enough room. So I got the jack thingy holding the rear transmission mount. Now I'm just undoing the bolts. So pretty simple shit. So just like that. And we're gonna lower the rear part of the transmission so we can inspect the B2 area because it's looking a little funky. There's also a very common reason for why the car moves forward and not in reverse, means that we could have some kind of failure point in the B2 piston area and basically the seal around it's like coming out. So yeah. We're gonna lower it and see what we find.
You know, we were gonna drop the transmission, but I think we might be in the clear to not drop it. Let me show you the problem that I found, and I think this is causing all of our issues. Let me show you. There's the bell housing for the transmission. There's the transmission oil pan, okay? And that, I think, I believe is the B1 cover, and that right there, my friends, is the B2 cover. I don't know if you could tell, but that thing is like basically half on right now. So that is definitely where we saw all of that fluid come out of. It's definitely that. You can see that the snap ring or the circlip or whatever is half hanging off. That thing is not in properly. There we go, guys. There it is. So that, my friends, is a B2 piston for the 722.3 transmission. This is the little itty bitty push rod that goes and connects something inside the valve body. This is that cover that was half lodged in there. I kind of cleaned it off. That's that circlip, and look how destroyed this O-ring is. So we're gonna need to get a new one of these bad boys. That's a huge problem. But there we go. I mean, there's all the parts, and the good news is this thing is the revised, upgraded version, where it has 4 posts here, and this thing looks freaking brand new. The Teflon doesn't look that messed up.
I just drove to LA to get these things, and I bought 2 of them just in case we accidentally rip one. So this is for the B2 piston for Mercedes Benz. I don't know why this thing came out. Like, I don't know why the fuck would it come out, but it did.
Great job on getting 2 of them, because I know we'll fuck one up.
So I'm thinking, yeah, that's what the problem was, that this thing kept coming out. I mean, that would make sense to me, which I'm glad we don't have to completely drop the transmission.
Well, don't get too ahead of yourself.
Yeah, we don't know 100%. So we're gonna replace this, and hopefully we get the wheels spinning today. They get the wheels spinning in the forward motion is what I mean.
Yeah.
Not just reverse. So we got good news and bad news. The good news is we figured out what the problem is. The bad news is we're gonna have to pull the transmission out to fix it. So we are doing that right now. Quick side note, I have a wonderful neighbor who is a Mercedes mechanic and Mercedes collector, and he gave us these seats. So these are real Recaro Mercedes seats. They're really, really cool looking, and we are going to be putting them into the Jag. So for all you General T fans out there, we are putting real Mercedes AMG Recaro seats in the Jag, and they're like that dark blue, so they match the car, nice gray. They're actually really comfortable too. And the coolest thing about them is that they have sat in the showroom for a very long time, never been used. So they're basically brand new Recaro, factory Recaros, and they're gonna make a great addition to the Jag.
While we're figuring out this whole transmission thing, real quick, while Noah's working underneath the car, our awesome neighbor Peter actually gave us a few little nice accessories, a distributor cap cover, it looks like, and a new wire. So I'm gonna throw these on real quick while I have some extra time. All right, so after wrestling with it for about 20 minutes, it's not too complicated. I got the distributor cover off, and then this thing just pops right off, and that's the old one, which was insanely cracked and destroyed. And here is that new one that Peter gave us. So I'm excited to put this thing on, and it will look just a tad better. And the distributor cover will actually function now, so upgrades, right?
Okay, we're currently underneath the transmission, me and Lenny, and I've gotten all the bolts out. Everything's disconnected. I can tell you this thing's a fucking bitch and a half. And we are on the final bell housing bolt, which is at the top. Put this old one back in just to protect it so that it doesn't fall onto me. But if you could see, we got extension to extension to extension to extension to extension all the way back out there. Lenny's got the breaker bar. It's pretty much the only way you could get this bolt out in this car is super long extension. So go ahead, Lenny.
Let's see if it works. I don't think it's gonna work, but.
Also, these bolts were torqued down like crazy. Like crazy. Oh, fuck.
Did we get it? I think we got it.
Unless I just broke.
It's one of the two. Here, do you have a ratchet?
Oh, no. It's loose. It's twisting.
Oh, yeah, we're loose. We're loose. Oh, we just came off. Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, baby! Lift! Ugh!
Oh, it's really not that heavy.
There she is. There she is. We did it. I never want to do that again in my entire life.
Okay, here it is. We got the transmission out. It took multiple days. It's not easy.
I know there's some like dickwad in the comments who's like, oh, I could pull it out in an hour.
Yeah, well,
screw you, Todd.
Fuck you. You can see where the old seal was. So the cover was coming off, and basically the B2 brake band right here should be butted up all the way because it goes like this. Look. So you have this pin, you have this, it goes like that, and then this piece, my Band-Aid's gonna fall off into the transmission, it goes like that all the way up against it, but this is supposed to butt up against that brake band, but that brake band must have broken and then fell in here somewhere. So that means that the transmission needs to have a complete overhaul. Everything needs to come out. So what we're probably gonna do is go find another one, a used one, reseal it, and then put that one in.
The metal that's kind of up here, my finger can touch, that's the brake band, and that should be flush, like Noah said, right to the back of this surface.
So that's the plan for that. Till then, I will have an update video once I get the new transmission, and we'll put it in, and hopefully the next video you could actually see this car driving. I really wished it was something much simpler than that, but it is what it is. We do have lots of good parts coming on the way for this car. So I decided I'm keeping the inline 6 for now. So I know a lot of people got worried about an LS swap and me butchering the car. Not just yet. I've learned to appreciate the car, you know. I've learned to appreciate the engineering behind it.
Ah, shut up, dude. We're still hot rodding this bitch. So stay tuned because we have tons of crazy shit coming.
We have a lot coming. By the way, we've got parts coming for the new 650 horsepower naturally aspirated build we're building for the Chevelle. We've got the 500 horsepower already built LS that we're going to drop in the Jag very soon. We got more Mustang content. More Jag content, more Chevelle content, more NASCAR Mustang content. We've got so much content coming out of our ass right now. You're going to love it.
No, are you blowing a tranny?
Well, it is Monday, so.
Okay.
We're back at it again, finally working on the Mercedes AMG Hammer build. Let's rewind about 6 months. I picked up this fine beauty sitting in my neighbor's garage when he was about to dump it into a junkyard. Now he said I could have this car for $100 if I could get it running within a month. It had been sitting for a couple years and didn't start and had a bunch of problems. Knowing absolutely next to nothing about Mercedes, especially even the existence of this car, I said, why would I want that? Then I realized I'm a car nut with a crippling addiction to buy broken cars. Well, I did it. I bought another car. I just bought this Coyote Mustang GT. Did it again. We bought another car. So I said, how hard could it be? It was very well taken care of and had a binder of documents proving tens of thousands of dollars put into this car over the years. So we quickly rolled it over to my house and me and Lenny got to work and got the engine running. But when we went to drive it, it only worked in reverse with absolutely no forward gears. So we pulled the transmission out and found that the B2 piston band had broke, and since it's the first piece in and last piece out, the transmission needed a full rebuild, and it's not cheap. When the car itself is only worth maybe $1,000 in running shape here in the States, and a rebuild costing thousands of dollars plus labor, it didn't make any sense. But then I discovered that with little work, we could turn this car into an AMG Hammer, which instantly became one of my favorites. So me and Lenny got to work on how we could fix this. Sent the transmission off to get a full rebuild, got it back, and now you guys are filled in. We got a full rebuild from our friends at AdSit. Once again, guys, we wouldn't be able to do any of the things we do if it weren't for our sponsors. They really hook us up. AdSit is our new exclusive Mercedes Benz parts dealer. They have pretty much every part you could imagine. Great resource. We talked to the owners of the company, really nice guys. They hooked us up, told us everything we need to do. So basically we got the original transmission that was in the car rebuilt. They also cleaned it as well. We got a brand new torque converter. So what we're gonna do is fill this up. We gotta pop it in. There's a special sequence when you pop it in, make sure you get the 2 clicks back. Now it's time to insert the big donut. Okay, that's one right there.
Oh. All right, now the car is, we actually lowered the car a little bit to get this transmission up inside of there. Essentially, we just gotta basically work it in, connect the bolts to the engine, and a few sensors, and we're good to go.
Sounds easy, but
it won't be.
It never is. Now me and Lenny are just putting the transmission back in place, and I gotta say it's so much easier to do it with a car lift. Once again, thanks to Quick Lift USA for hooking us up with their lifts, and you can go get some with a fat discount, link in the description. So right now I'm just fingering in that last bell housing bolt, the very top. My hand is completely stuck between the transmission and firewall. If I decided to make a sudden jolt, I could probably snap my arm in half. But I am kind of stuck, especially as the transmission got tighter just now. I have to actually lean this way, twist my arm, and there we go. That was actually a lot easier than it was to remove. Still gotta tighten them down and connect all the electronics, everything that we took apart many months ago. And quite frankly, I don't remember where anything goes, and it gets even worse. Because we pulled the transmission many months ago in my home garage, we basically just pulled all the bolts out and just, put them on a table, and then we brought them here. And I'm not a Mercedes-Benz mechanic. I really don't know where any of this goes. So it's gonna be a fun guessing game trying to figure out where each thing goes. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so the first set of bolts that we wanted to tackle was for the torque converter. And on these transmissions, because they're fully enclosed, they give you this nice little, real convenient window to basically hand turn the motor so you can line it up and get the bolts in. There's 6 of them. Once all 6 are tight, then this thing is really fused to the engine. Then we can move on to other stuff.
So while Lenny's tightening those bolts, I'm going to just turn over the motor by hand so that it spins it so that he can get the next bolt in.
All right, go a little bit more. Okay, I can see it. A little bit more. All right, stop.
Okay, and now I'm just tightening the bolts that, they're basically banjo bolts that hold the hydraulic lines into the transmission. The problem with this one right now is that every time I tighten it, it's not really getting too tight. So I don't want to strip it, but at the same time, I don't want it to leak either.
Yeah, those are super prone to leaking.
I'm just gonna go a little bit more.
What was that?
I fucking broke it.
You're joking, right?
We may be fucked. This might take longer than I thought.
Where is it?
It's inside there. A piece just fell off. I think the bolt head. This is really bad because I don't know if we could get another bolt, and I don't know if we could pull this bolt out. This is the last thing you want to break. I didn't want to do it too light because I've had them leak before. Look at that.
Did it really break? Oh,
I barely gave it any force and it just broke. Maybe I could get it out. It's spinning.
Okay,
it just goes to show how loose it is. It's not even that tight. Oh, that's good. But I'm worried because if it came out so easily, it must not have been that tight. At this point, we thought this would delay us and set us back maybe a few days to a week, because when we looked online, it said the banjo bolt was discontinued, but we weren't gonna give up too easily. I don't know where we could get another one of these pieces.
That's not something you can go to O'Reilly's and pick up.
No. Believe it or not, it's only been 1 day since we broke the bolt. We already got a brand new one. We went to Beach Benz. The people there are so nice. They got us the replacement bolt that we needed, which I looked online, it was very hard to find. And they gave me a new seal, O-ring, for the dipstick housing. Now, you can't just put any O-ring on the dipstick housing, because if you do, and it's not the perfect correct size, you're gonna have transmission leaks. And it's the type where when you leave the car sitting for a few days, it'll just start leaking. I've had the problem with the Chevelle. You have to get the right one. See that big fat boy right there? All girthy and thick. That is going to create the perfect seal right around here. Now with the proper seal, transmission shouldn't leak. All you gotta do is just put the hold down bolt in, Okay, round 2. Am I gonna break the second bolt? Hopefully not.
It's tough because these things have crush washers. So if it's not crushed all the way, it'll leak, but you can't do it too tight. Don't do it too tight, Noah.
No more.
All right, let's move on.
Now we just have to hook up all the linkage and all the remaining bolts. Luckily, even though this is a European car, everything is very simple and straightforward. You don't need a manual or instructions. It's almost common sense to put it all back together. It's basically like Legos. The Mercedes engineers really knocked it out of the park with this model. Now that the transmission's pretty much all hooked up, we got a few last components to connect before we could put the exhaust back on. We got the hood in the beautiful service mode. I mean, this is just genius German engineering right here. Why doesn't every car come like this? We've got this cable that I gotta fish with this, and this is the cable that comes off the transmission. All the spark plug wires had to go back together, and the Bowden cable for the transmission had to be set. And of course, the exhaust had to go back on. The bolts were so badly rusted, so we just put the entire piece back on in one piece. Okay guys, we are at the final step. We are putting the transmission fluid into the car. And so far I've put almost a whole gallon in. This thing takes a lot of transmission fluid. It's got the transmission fluid, it's got the transmission, it's got the exhaust, it's got everything back in. I think it's ready to run. Let's see if we did it right. So I'm gonna start the car and we're gonna take it around the block, see if it moves. Okay, let's start this thing. There we go, baby.
Okay, it's going in reverse.
Reverse works, that's good news. It worked before though.
Okay, now for the moment of truth, dude. Put that thing in drive.
So we got it in drive.
No way.
Okay, right when you think that everything's figured out, of course the car's shaking a little bit too much and we got a check engine light. So let's figure out what's going on because I want to drive this bitch. I'm used to cars with OBD2 where you plug in the scanner and it tells you exactly what's wrong with the car. Well, this car's old and it doesn't have that. In fact, it's got a very special thing that I had to show you and include in this video because I pulled this little cover off right here and what you see is a bunch of numbers. Now I'm gonna show you quickly how we can figure out what's wrong with the car, well, what's causing the check engine light by using this. And if you've ever played any video game where you have to do some kind of Easter egg where there's all kinds of steps or any kind of puzzle, that's what this is. So watch as I do this. I hold this between 2 and 4 seconds, no more, no less. 1, 2, 3, let go, and watch. Now I count 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. Okay, it flashed 11 times. Now, you basically do that and you get all the codes. We only have a number 11 code. What that translates to is the secondary air system, which is not really a big deal. That's some smog bullshit that they have where basically it takes a bunch of air, hot air from the engine, throws it to the catalytic converter to warm it up on startup. It has to do with this big unit right here, which I do have to get this car smogged, and I'm gonna do it the right way. So I gotta fix that somehow, but probably an electrical connection. So the real problem is some kind of misfire. I can feel it in the car. I think we may have found our problem. As I was pulling out the spark plug wire, gently tugged like right around here, and this whole thing just ripped right off. So the fact that this thing just pretty much came apart tells me that something's not right here. So we got a brand new set of wires we're gonna put on. Hopefully that solves our issue. So we're just gonna pull out each plug, take a look at them. You know, I bought a whole new, brand new set from Mercedes Benz. It actually wasn't as expensive. It was about $6 per plug, which isn't that bad from Mercedes. You know how much they wanted per spark plug wire? They wanted $120 per spark plug wire when I could get the OEM set for about 120 bucks. From the classic Mercedes Benz parts, 120 from the normal Mercedes dealer per spark plug wire. And they only had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. They didn't have number 5. They said number 5 is discontinued. Now, why would they discontinue one wire? I don't know. So there we go. It's Baru. It looks OEM, made in France. I'm pretty sure this is the OE spark plug they used. Doesn't hurt to replace them. We got the brand new plug, gap to specification. Let's put them in. Maybe a little bit overkill, but this is a gear wrench extension. And the reason why I'm showing you guys that is because Gear Wrench, super awesome people, decided to hook us up with a full set of tools. And this has made our lives a million times easier, especially these extensions, because putting in that transmission, you need the extensions in order to go all the way through to hit the bell housing bolts, especially in the M6. So I'm not gonna get into exactly what we've done to the M6 so far. You'll have to wait for that video. But in the M6, we've been working on it lately, and I needed these, and these saved the day. So thanks to Gear Wrench for giving us this. I mean, look at this right here. I don't know when I'll ever use this, something this big. I mean, this is to like pull out, like, you know, the bolts on a street light. So awesome. Awesome to have. You know, they hooked us up with all kinds of tools, which you'll be seeing us use. I mean, just everything we could possibly need. They also gave us, you know, torque wrenches. They gave us a torque to angle torque wrench, which is great for like building LS motors and stuff. So, well guys, it looks like we're saved not too far away. I got myself an STI. Now, this is an STI proudly assembled in the USA. This is not sponsored, by the way. It's just a funny name. But most importantly, I needed some spark plug wires, and look at that. We got it. Oh, they're Bremis. It says Germany on it. So is it German? Is it made in the USA? Who knows? But beautiful. Look at these, brand new. Here's the thing. This is a car that I want to be able to take on long drives, maybe across the country and back. You can't delay your maintenance. For your maintenance, you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get stuck on the side of the road. Let's swap these over.
Okay, longest one first for number 6 cylinder. There we go. 1 down, 5 more to go. All right, 3 more to go.
All right, all the plugs are in. Go ahead, fire this bitch.
That sound is really getting annoying now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that fixed it.
Does it feel smooth?
It's so smooth now. I don't feel, so before it was like a little bit like shaky, and obviously like the choke's on right now. That's why it's like revving a little bit higher, and you could notice it really well. Now it's like smooth, like perfectly smooth. So I think we're good now. I think we may have done it. Like, let's go drive this thing, dude. I'm so fucking excited. Like, I'm a Benz owner now, dude.
Okay.
Okay, we are officially driving the Mercedes. It has been like 6 months, it feels like, since we got the car, you know, got it running, and then went out to drive, and it only went in reverse. But now, we're going forward, baby. And I gotta say, just first impressions. Remember, guys, I'm not a huge Euro guy, but I'm getting into the whole Euro thing. If you watched our previous video with the BMW, it blew my mind what the capabilities of a European car can do. And this isn't any BMW. This is a Mercedes Benz. These are supposed to be the best cars that you can possibly get. And the 1W4 platform is the best that Mercedes ever did. You'll never top that when it comes to reliability, when it comes to style, when it comes to so many different things. And overall, the immediate thing that I'm noticing about this car, yes, it's, you know, over 30 years old, is that it's built like a tank. When you close the doors, it doesn't feel like cheap plastic, or that the doors aren't gonna line up, or that something's not gonna go right. It feels like a vault door, but not like too heavy where it's a nuisance. It feels like good. It feels like craftsmanship. It felt like when Mercedes built this car, they said, I want a car that can go 1,000,000 miles. And we're gonna do whatever we can to strive to achieve that. That's what it feels like. And overall, driving it doesn't look like we need an alignment. That's good. Brakes work, surprisingly. Transmissions is shifting. The first to second was a little hard, so there's a little bit of fine adjustment that we could do to, you know, make sure that the shifting is perfect. But overall, you know, I'm just taking it around the street, just making sure that it's safe to drive, and it's a smooth car. When I press these buttons, I get the AC working. Believe it or not, we got fucking working AC in this bitch. So that's crazy. Although if you click these buttons a little too hard, it'll come off and fly. Yeah, there we go. We got to change the cabin air filter.
Oh, it stinks in here.
We spilled a little bit of transmission fluid on the headers, and I could smell it burning up.
Here, let's
Oh,
just. Oh,
there we go.
all right. Let's just go
There we
ahead.
go.
Let's just go ahead and turn this off.
Yeah. We got all the wood is in pretty nice shape. This dash is not cracked, guys. If you have any car from the 90s, there's a 110% chance that the dash is cracked. Believe it or not, this is not cracked, and I believe this is original. This doesn't look like a cover.
Yeah, this is the original.
So that's crazy. That means that this car has been garaged, had a cover on it. this is needs to be replaced. So
Oh,
yep, there we go.
all right.
These are minor things. These are things that we can fix easy peasy. Overall, I think this car is very solid, which means it's the perfect candidate for an OEM Plus AMG Hammer build. And we're gonna get the body kit. On top of everything, we have a fucking working sunroof. I mean, how great is that? I don't think I've had a car with a sunroof before. I love sunroofs. So that's pretty cool. I think we're gonna go cruise the beach. I think I'm gonna have to kick Lenny out because he's kind of weighing down the car right now.
Ah, shut the fuck up.
Dude, I'm a Benz owner now.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
all the gold diggers are gonna be wanting.
Okay. And I gotta say, riding as a passenger in this vehicle is quite the experience. Now, I am no small, petite European man. I am a big, bearded, 6'2", large American man, and I fit in this little car very well. It's very comfortable. I could sit in this car for a full road trip, no problemo, which I gotta be honest was one of my worries for these small little old European cars. So I just gotta say, like, as a passenger, quite a pleasant experience for all sizes.
Now don't you ever be sad. Lean on me when times get bad. When the day comes, I know you're done.
Well, I think I'm a Mercedes guy now. This is an amazing car. And I know it's had such an amazing story. I mean, this car was in immaculate shape. Obviously, it's got high mileage. Obviously, the transmission blew up. There was a lot of problems, spark plug wires, a little bit of maintenance things here and there. But now we have it running. Now we have a $100 Mercedes up and running. We are going to take this to the next level. We are doing an AMG Hammer build. Throughout this journey so far, I've learned to grow a massive appreciation for Mercedes, as well as learn a lot about this car because this is Mercedes' most reliable car ever made. In fact, this engine, there's many accounts where they last 400,000 miles. Now that's a massive accomplishment. I've even heard that the legendary Toyota 2JZ was stolen from this engine. Basically, they took this engine, reworked a few things, boom, there you go. A 2JZ engine came from a M103 engine. Now, those are just rumors I've heard. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. What an experience. And just a few little OEM plus parts, and we can make this thing the most badass car on the block, an AMG Hammer. And the good news is we got a lot of parts coming, and those episodes are gonna come out very, very soon. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe if you aren't already, but this is just the beginning.